Daniel just got a $24,000 raise. 12 months later, he has a newer car, a better apartment, more expensive clothes, and less money than before. He did not lose at gambling. He was not scammed. He did exactly what successful people are expected to do. He made his success visible. And that is the trap. Because the fastest way to look wealthy is often the fastest way to stop becoming wealthy. In the next 8 minutes, you will see how a raise turns into a costume, why intelligent people finance that costume, and why the wealth that protects your life is usually the wealth nobody can see. At 8:47 on a Monday morning, Daniel receives the promotion email he has waited 3 years to open. Before lunch, he has already decided what the extra money will change. This is the strange mathematics of looking rich. The car becomes newer while the emergency fund stays empty. The apartment becomes larger while the margin for error becomes smaller. A person can appear successful to almost everyone except the account financing the performance. Why do intelligent people do this? Because looking rich is not really about objects. It is about status, belonging, fear, and the story we want other people to believe about us. And once that story becomes your lifestyle, it sends you a bill every month. There are 2 versions of wealth. The first is easy to see: the car, the watch, the neighborhood, the vacation. Call this displayed wealth. The second is almost invisible: savings, investments, low debt, ownership, and the ability to survive an emergency without pretending everything is fine. Call this stored wealth. The same dollar usually cannot do both jobs. A dollar placed into savings becomes invisible but useful. A dollar used to upgrade a visible lifestyle becomes noticeable but unavailable. One buys options, the other buys an impression. That does not make every nice purchase foolish. Money should improve life. The trap begins when the impression becomes more important than the protection, especially when the impression is financed. Daniel's raise could have created distance between his income and his expenses. Instead, it gave his expenses permission to chase his income. More than a century ago, economist Thorstein Veblen gave this behavior a name: conspicuous consumption, buying things partly because other people can see what they imply. Modern research suggests these purchases can do more than announce income. They can repair a feeling. In a series of studies, researchers found that upward comparison, feeling inferior to someone doing better, could increase preference for conspicuous products. The purchase becomes a counter-argument. You may be ahead of me in your career or social life, but this object proves that I still matter. Status competition is old. The comparison machine in your pocket is not. Daniel sees the vacation but not the credit card statement. He sees the car but not the lease. He sees the renovated kitchen but not the mortgage, family assistance, or debt behind it. He compares his complete financial reality with everybody else's edited evidence. The marketplace offers an elegant solution when the image costs more than the cash available. Do not think about the price, think about the payment. A $60,000 car becomes $800 a month. A $1,200 phone becomes $50 a month. A vacation becomes 4 interest-free installments. The full cost disappears, replaced by a number small enough to fit inside the next paycheck. But monthly affordability is not wealth. It is a claim on future income. In Consumer Financial Protection Bureau data, more than 1/5 of consumers with a credit record used a buy now, pay later loan in 2022. More than 3/5 of those borrowers held multiple simultaneous loans at some point that year. These products are not automatically harmful, but the pattern shows how one manageable payment can become a network of obligations. Daniel feels upgraded when he signs. He feels poor later when months of future labor already belong to decisions he made in minutes. This is lifestyle inflation. Income rises, spending follows, and yesterday's luxuries slowly become today's minimum acceptable standard. Daniel's apartment was fine until he could afford a better one. His car was reliable until it stopped matching his title. Cooking was normal until delivery became the reward his workload supposedly deserved. The pleasure is real, but people adapt. The first month in the new apartment feels exceptional. By month 7, it is simply home, except the higher rent still leaves every month. The lifestyle does not need to become extravagant to become fragile. It only needs to turn flexible income into fixed commitments. A celebration costs money once. A lifestyle upgrade can cost money indefinitely. And there is a second problem. Reversing it feels like failure. Once Daniel becomes the successful one, an older car feels like a public demotion. The purchase stops being something he owns and becomes evidence of who he is. Eventually, Daniel's life communicates stability. Nice building, new car, good restaurants, successful job. But true stability is measured during interruption, not presentation. What happens if the job disappears? The car needs repair, a parent needs help, the bonus is delayed. In the Federal Reserve's 2024 household survey, 63% of adults said they would cover a hypothetical $400 emergency entirely with cash or its equivalent. The statistic does not tell us who owns the nicest things. It reveals why visible consumption tells us so little about the cushion underneath it. The apartment impresses visitors, the payment returns every month. The car receives compliments. The loan remains after people stop noticing it. Displayed wealth earns attention once. Stored wealth quietly protects you over and over again. Stored wealth has a branding problem. It is boring. Nobody applauds a transfer into an emergency fund. A paid-off balance produces no unboxing video. A long-term investment does not become more photogenic because you held it for 10 years. Consumption shows what somebody spent. It does not show what they own, what they owe, or what remains. The person with the newest car may be wealthy. The person with the older car may be struggling. The point is not to reverse the stereotype. The point is that the car cannot answer the question. Real financial strength often appears as options. The option to leave a harmful job, absorb an emergency, help someone without borrowing, wait for a good opportunity, or simply say no. Those options are difficult to photograph, but they may be the most luxurious things money can buy. The answer is not to make life joyless or reject every upgrade. It is to decide what deserves to grow when income grows. Before the next raise reaches the checking account, choose a portion that automatically builds stored wealth. Not because one percentage works for everyone, but because money transferred first cannot be casually turned into a performance later. Then ask 3 questions. Would I still want this if nobody could see it? What is the complete cost? Not only the monthly payment, but the interest, insurance, maintenance, fees, and time. And does this purchase make my ordinary life better, or only make the announcement of my life look better? Finally, define enough before an advertiser, an algorithm, or a more successful acquaintance defines it for you. Because someone without an answer to what is enough can receive raises forever and still feel behind. 1 year after his promotion, Daniel opens the spreadsheet where he planned his upgraded life. This time, he deletes the car upgrade. Nothing about him looks different the following morning, but his money is finally beginning to create distance between him and disaster instead of distance between him and the people he is trying to impress. Looking rich is expensive because it requires witnesses. Financial security is quieter. It may look ordinary. It may even look unimpressive. But the goal of wealth was never to make strangers believe you have money. The goal was to make money stop controlling every decision you make.